When a massive storm is rolling in and the power starts to flicker, where do you turn for information? Right, for millions of us, it's our local radio or TV station. But have you ever stopped to think about what it actually takes for them to stay on the air when, everything else is going dark? Well, we're going to pull back the curtain on that.
And the stakes here are incredibly high. I mean, think about it. When your phone has 0 bars and your internet is out, the radio or TV suddenly becomes a lifeline. Broadcasters are what's known as first informers, and it's their job to provide that nonstop critical news that keeps all of us safe. So their ability to stay on the air isn't just a technical challenge, it's a massive public service.
So for this explainer, we're going right to the source. This is based entirely on the guide 10 Steps to Disaster Preparation and Recovery from the National Association of Broadcasters. It's an amazing document that gives you a real behind-the-scenes look at how the pros do it, and you can actually download it for free right from their website.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why this planning is so critical. Then we'll get into the blueprint they use. After that, we'll dive into all the what-if scenarios, because that's where it gets really interesting. We'll also cover the human factor, protecting the staff, and finally, what happens after the disaster to recover and get strong.
So let's start with the big why. For a broadcast station, preparing for a disaster isn't just a good business practice, it's about fulfilling their fundamental role. They're literally designated as first informers, which means they are tasked with getting vital alerts and information out to the community when we need it most.
And you just can't leave a responsibility like that to chance. No way. Staying on the air doesn't just happen by magic. It's the result of really careful, proactive work. And it all kicks off with a super detailed strategic plan.
A solid plan like this isn't cooked up by one person in a back room. It's a total team effort. You've got to have the engineers who know all the technical weak spots. You need the news directors who are planning for how to keep the coverage going. The general managers are focused on keeping the staff safe. And of course, you need the station owners to really champion the whole thing.
And just look at the sheer range of threats they have to think about. It's wild. It's not just the big stuff we all think of, like hurricanes and wildfires. They also have to plan for things like widespread power outages, critical equipment failures, and yeah, even major cybersecurity attacks, which are a huge and growing threat.
And this brings us to a really critical point. None of this planning gets off the ground without buy-in from the top. When the owners and managers make this a priority, it sends a clear message to the entire staff that, hey, this is serious. It means they'll actually devote the time and the money to do it right.
All right, now for the part I find fascinating. Planning for every single thing that could go wrong. This is all about asking what if over and over and over again. It's about having a backup for your backup.
Okay, so let's play out a scenario. This is the absolute nightmare for any broadcaster. Your main transmitter, the giant antenna that actually sends your signal out into the world, is completely knocked out. Now what?
Well, if you've planned for it, you've got options. Boom, you can switch to a smaller backup transmitter. Or you could have a deal with another local station to carry a broadcast on their signal. And of course, you can push everything to your online stream. The whole point is to never, ever have a single point of failure.
Okay, let's turn up the heat a little. Now the power is out across the city and the internet is down. The station is totally cut off. How on earth do you keep the information flowing?
This is where the really heavy-duty tech comes into play. We're talking massive backup generators, with fuel contracts already in place to keep them running for days. They'll have satellite phones and satellite internet systems to completely bypass the local grid. And you know what? Even good old-fashioned two-way radios for the team to talk to each other inside the building.
But it's not all high-tech gadgets. Some of the smartest preparations are actually pretty simple. Things like literally bolting heavy equipment to the floor so it doesn't fly around. Using stronger safety glass in the windows, not keeping all your news vans in one parking lot, and of course, keeping your data backed up somewhere else entirely. These little things can make a huge difference.
You can have all the generators and satellite phones in the world, but they're just expensive paperweights without the people to run them. So this next piece of the puzzle is arguably the most important one, taking care of the team.
I mean, just imagine, these folks might have to shelter in place at the station for days. So the station has to be ready for that. That means stockpiles of all the essentials: food, water, first aid, bedding, you name it. They also encourage staff to have their own personal GOAT kits packed and ready, just in case.
And what happens if your main on-air host or your top engineer can't make it to the station? Well, that's where cross-training becomes a total game changer. You might have someone from accounting who knows how to operate the on-air controls, or a reporter who knows how to do a simple tech fix. It creates this incredibly resilient and flexible team that can handle anything.
So, finally, the storm passes. The immediate danger is over. You'd think the work is done, right? Not even close. Now the station has to shift into recovery mode, which is all about getting back to normal. And, most importantly, learning from what just happened.
A huge piece of the recovery is, of course, financial, and that's where having the right kinds of insurance is absolutely crucial. You've got your basic property insurance for the building itself. Then there's something called business interruption insurance, which helps pay for things like renting temporary gear. There's even a special kind of marine insurance for the towers and transmitters. And yep, today, cybersecurity insurance is non-negotiable.
And this is key. Every single emergency is a chance to learn. The best stations conduct a really thorough debrief with the whole team. They talk about what worked perfectly, what didn't go so well, and how they can update their plan to be even stronger for the next time. It's this constant cycle of improvement. You know, when you see the incredible amount of planning and detail that goes into keeping your local station on the air, it's pretty humbling. It makes you realize their readiness is a true community asset. And it really just leaves us with one final, very important question. They're prepared. Are you?